Hello everyone, welcome to my channel The English Village. In this video, we will talk about the topic causative verbs, and it is very important topic. Before discussing this topic, I would like to tell you the agenda of this lesson. First, I will teach you why is it important to learn causative sentence. In other words, we can say, why is it so important to use causative sentences in an English language? Second, we will have a look at the definition of causative verbs. Third, we will have a look at the structure of causative sentences. The structure will tell you how to use causative verbs in a sentence. Fourth and the last, we will talk about some of the examples which will give us a lot more opportunity to practice all these causative verbs in different sentences. Before looking at the definition, let's discuss why we need causative verbs and why we need causative sentences. Let me tell you, we use a causative verb when we want to talk about something that someone else did for us or for another person. It means that the subject caused the action to happen but didn't do it by himself. Maybe the subject has paid or has asked or convinced the other person to do it for him. Let's have a look at the definition of the causative verb. The causative verb shows that somebody is indirectly responsible for an action. It refers to the actions which are done for the subject rather than by the subject. Causative verbs cause, make, or have another person to do something or to do an action. Let's have a look at an example to prove these definitions. Can you see an image of a house? If I say I cleaned my house, that means I cleaned my house by myself. I didn't take anybody's help. The action is done by the subject, I. But if I say a cleaner cleaned my house, that means I paid the cleaner to clean my house. In other words, we can say, I didn't do this action of cleaning my house. I made a cleaner clean my house for me because I have paid the cleaner to do that task. This is another way of saying that, but if I have to say this meaning or this action in a causative sentence, how can I say? I can say, I had the cleaner clean my house. In this sentence, I is a subject and I, the subject, had made the cleaner clean the house. Subject didn't do the action. The subject, I, paid the cleaner clean the house for him. Let's look at another example. I don't know how to fix a shoe and glasses. If they are broken, I can't repair my shoe. I can't repair my glasses. Now what to do in that case? Well, I can have another person repair them for me. Yay! In that case, I am happy because I don't know how to repair my shoe and my glasses, but I can make another person do this action for me. And in order to say that, I have to use causative sentences. Let's continue our learning about causative verbs. On this slide, I have provided you the same definition, and I'm going to teach you in comparison. I will show you two sentences. One is a regular sentence and the another one is a causative sentence. By making a comparison, we can learn better. We can understand what is the difference between a causative sentence and a regular sentence. Before that, let's have a look at the four causative verbs. Make, get, let, have. Now let's have a look at the example one by one. My kids use this computer. This is a regular sentence. In this sentence, my kids are performing that action of using the computer. It shows that they are allowed, they have permission to use this computer. But think of what if they have no permission to use this computer? In that case, I have that permission to give that permission of using the computer to my kids. So in that case, to provide or to give permission, I use a causative verb let. Let is used when you give permission. So I will make a causative sentence. I let my kids use this computer. In that case, I am giving permission to my kids. I am causing my kids to use this computer. I am making my kids use this computer. Let's have a look at another example. My husband cooks dinner for me. This is a regular example, regular sentence. In this sentence, it appears that my husband is willing to cook dinner for me. He doesn't have any problem. He wants to cook dinner for me. But think about if he is not willing to cook dinner for me. And I am so tired that I want him to cook dinner for me. In that case, I have to use a causative sentence because I have to cause my husband or I have to make my husband cook dinner for me. In that case, I will use the causative verb get. Get is the causative verb to convince. When we have to convince or persuade another person to do a task or an action for us, we use get. Here, I have to convince my husband to cook dinner for me. So I will use get causative verb. I can say, I get my husband to cook dinner for me. Get is the only causative verb where we use to plus first form. That means infinitive. We'll talk about this in next slides. Let's have a look at another example. I repaired my car. This is a regular sentence. It is the same sentence when we discussed I cleaned my house. So you know I repaired my car is telling you that the repair has been done by you without any help. But if I am so tired and I want somebody else to do that task, I will use a causative sentence. I will say, I had the technician repair my car. We use causative verb have when we authorize another person to do that task for us. Here, I authorize the technician to repair that car for me, since I am not able to do that. Let's have a look at another example. My sister cleaned the house. Here, we can say that my sister is willing to clean the house. She didn't have any problem. But think about if she was not willing to clean the house and I didn't know how to do that, or maybe I was so tired to do that, I had to make my sister clean the house. That means I have to force her. In order to force, we use the causative verb make. So I will make a causative sentence. I made my sister clean the house. In this case, I forced my sister to clean the house for me, since she was not willing to do that task. In this slide, we have seen the comparison between a regular sentence and a causative sentence. Let's have a look at the structure of causative sentences. How to use all those 4 causative verbs in these causative sentences. 3 causative verbs have, make, and let have different structure than the causative verb get. Have you noticed the difference? Have, make, let. The structure is causative verb plus someone, the person, plus base verb means first form of verb. In case of the causative verb get, we have a structure causative verb plus someone, the person, plus to infinitive. What is to infinitive? To infinitive is to plus first form of verb. Let's have a look at some examples. I let my kids use this computer. Now, these causative verb, the structure comes in between the regular sentence, same as we use subject and the rest of the sentence. And this structure comes in between. I is a subject. Let is a causative verb. Someone, my kids, is someone, the person. Use is first form of verb, the base verb. So let is taking the first structure. This computer is the rest of the sentence. So you have seen that causative verb structure comes in between the regular sentence. We use a subject and the rest of the sentence. And in between we have this structure. Second example, I get my husband to cook dinner for me. So I is the subject, get is a causative verb, my husband is a someone, person, and you remember get takes to infinitive, means to plus first form, not like the other 3 base verb. So to cook is infinitive here. Dinner for me is the rest of the sentence. Third example, I made my sister clean the house. I as a subject, made, causative verb, my sister, someone, person, clean is the base verb. The house is the rest of the sentence. Fourth example, I had the technician repair my car. I is a subject, had is the causative verb, the technician is someone, person, repair is the base verb, that means the first form of verb. My car is the rest of the sentence. Thus, we have seen that have, make, and let has a different structure than get. So remember that. All the four causative verbs have some purpose. Let's have a look at the first one, have. First, we will discuss about why we use the causative verb have. Second, we will look at the structure. Third, we will discuss some examples. Let's have a look at the reason why we use have causative verb in a causative sentence. To authorize someone to do something. We use a causative verb have when we want to authorize someone to do a task or an action for us. Or you can also say we give that responsibility to another person. Let's look at the structure. Causative verb plus someone, person, plus base verb. So here we have a causative verb have, then we use someone, person, then first form of verb. Let's look at some examples. He has the technician check the machine. It is in a present form. Let me tell you that we use all these causative verbs in any tenses. But due to a short of time, I cannot show you all those tenses. But once you get hold of how to use causative verb, you can use causative verb in any tense in any of your sentence. Let's have a look at this second one. He had the technician check the machine. It is in a past tense. So that's why have has been changed into had. So you have seen in the first sentence, has is a causative verb, the technician is a someone, person, and check is a base verb. And then the rest of the sentence. And he is a subject. Now here, he has authorized the technician to check the machine for him. Or we can say, he has given the responsibility of checking the machine to the technician. So he is causing another person to check the machine for him. He is not doing this action by himself. Let's look at the second causative verb, let. As we know, we use this causative verb when we allow or permit somebody to do a task or an action for us. Let's look at the structure, that is causative verb plus someone, person, plus base verb. Here we have a causative verb let, then someone, person, plus base verb. Let's have a look at some examples. My parents let me use the mobile phone. In this case, my parents permit me, allow me to use the mobile phone. Second example is in the past tense, but you have seen let is the same form. So let. It would not change its form in a past tense. My mom let me go to my friend's house. I'm happy. That means my mom permitted me, because this is a past. So permitted me, allowed me to go to my friend's house. Let's have a look at the third causative verb, make. We use this causative verb when we force someone to do a task or an action for us. The structure is causative verb plus someone, person plus base verb. Here we have a causative verb make plus someone, person plus base verb. Let's have a look at some examples. My mom makes me clean the dishes. That means I am not willing to clean the dishes. So my mom has to force me. So my mom made me. But if we are using a present tense in a first sentence, we use makes. In a second sentence, we say made. So my mom makes me clean the dishes, present tense. My mom made me clean the dishes, past tense. In both cases, she is forcing me to clean the dishes. So sad. Let's have a look at another causative verb, get. We have two definitions. We use get causative verb when we try to convince someone to do something. Second, when we try to trick someone into doing something. Let's have a look at the structure. Causative verb plus someone, person plus to infinitive. Here we have a causative verb get plus someone, person plus to infinitive means to plus first form. Let's have a look at the examples. In the first box, we have sentences which goes according to the second definition of this causative verb get. That means to trick someone into doing something. I get the students to read this book. Think of the book which is not interesting. It might be boring to read a history book. But if I get the students to read this book, that means I trick them. I trick someone into doing something. So I trick my students to read a boring book. Second example, I got the students to read this book. It is in the past form. Let me tell you that these causative verbs can be used in any tense. It can be used in present, past, it can be used in continuous, it can be used in a future tense. But due to short of time, I'm giving you just two examples, present and past. Once you get hold of these causative verbs and how to use them in causative sentences, you know how to use them in different tenses. I'm sure of that. Let's even have a look at another example in a different box. I couldn't get him to sign this agreement. It's in the present form. This sentence goes according to the first definition, where you are convincing somebody to sign the agreement. So get him to sign. Remember, get is the causative verb where you use to infinitive. All the other three takes base verb. That means first form of verb. After discussing about all the four causative verbs, it's time to have some causative verbs fun. You have to use all those causative verbs that we have learned. Let, make, have, use base verb. Get, use infinitive. I'm giving you the structure here so you can have some help. And in this box, you can see I have provided you with some task or some action, what we can do at home, what we can't do at home, or what we can't do at school. get yourself in groups, or if you don't have your friend with you, you can practice on your own. Otherwise, you can practice in groups. I encourage you to use all of these actions and you try to use the different causative verbs. But as you know, some, because it depends on the situation, every causative verb cannot go with every task because there is a reason behind every causative verb to use in a causative sentence. And we have already discussed about those reasons and the definitions. So pause this video. I'm giving you some time to look at these different actions and to make causative sentences. So pause this video and get back to check your answer. I'm going to provide you answers in the next slide. Here we are with the causative verbs fun answers. What do you think? Did you get them all right? All correct? I'm sure you did. And you're happy. And I'm pretty sure you have fun learning causative verbs. I hope you enjoyed this video and you like it. Please hit the like button. And if you have any question and doubts, please leave the comment below this video and I will get back to you to resolve them. Till then, have a good day. Bye-bye.